Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, 17-year-old Logan Robles of Victoria was sentenced to 30 years for the fatal shooting of 57-year-old Hector Gonzalez. And President Biden has warned Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu against carrying out military operations in Rafah, a city now home to 1 million refugees. And across the nation this morning, many parts of the country already feeling the effects of spring, which is set to arrive later tonight.
And yes, spring begins today, but with spring beginning, that means severe season and some nice spring weather. We'll take a look down at the weather coming up.
The Bloomington Bobcats have found their new head coach, and it's Victoria East versus West. They all have that in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today it's the 19th day of March 2023. The time is now 6:30 on our Tuesday morning, and it's National Backyard Day.
Backyard Day. You know, I need to get me a place in the backyard because I have a little puppy dog and she just runs around like crazy. Do you have a backyard at your place?
I have a backyard at my boyfriend's house, but we don't have a fence. We haven't had a fence since 2017, so we're hoping to get that fence back so our 3 dogs can gleefully run in the backyard.
You gotta have some space for your doggies. If I want that space.
Right, and for yourself. The backyard's a place to garden, definitely. To barbecue.
And to watch for some storms.
Yeah.
if you're me.
If you're a weather watcher.
If you're a weather watcher.
Well, is it going to be a good day to be in the backyard today, Parker?
It's a great, actually, I might say it is. If you'd like the cooler weather, we're going to be in the mid-60s today with the clouds actually increasing a little bit later today. So not too bad of a day to get out in that backyard. But if you're like me and you'd like to get in the backyard to watch some storms, Thursday is your day for that because we got some thunderstorms coming our way. Take a look at that in just a second, because if y'all are tuning in with us this morning, you're looking live here in Victoria. It's actually just Loop 463 and the highway that runs to the airport, a little eastern side of Victoria, where it's a little bit chilly out there this morning, 49 degrees after that cold front came through yesterday morning. But dew point 10 degrees off from your temperature, you have a 69% humidity. So a little bit more dry out there because of that dry cold air mass that came through. And it's going to be a little dry today with your dew points in the 30s. But the good news is southerly winds are returning today and we warm right back up going into the weekend. Like I said, looking at where the headlines here for this week, chilly and dry today after that cold front came through yesterday, but southerly winds warming us up, like I said, going into later this week with some strong thunderstorms, maybe even severe, coming our way again on Thursday. But right now, all of us in the upper 40s and right around 50 degrees along the coast, y'all in the mid 50s, right next to that water. A little chilly, so maybe pack a jacket for you, for yourself today, because we're only getting up to the mid 60s before we drop right back to the low 60s and upper 50s. Tonight. But coming our way today, maybe a couple of showers, kind of like what we saw yesterday, 1 or 2 or 3 real light showers out there with an even better shot at some scattered showers coming our way tomorrow. Looking at your future tracker here, maybe a couple out there coming tomorrow afternoon. But coming our way on Thursday, and really all day Thursday, we have a possible alert day for the strong thunderstorms. We're going to take a look at that more in just a few moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Congress has reached a tentative deal to avoid a government shutdown. Congressional leaders struck a deal Monday to fund the Department of Homeland Security. It's a full-year appropriations bill, which should clear the way for Congress to begin the last 6 appropriations bills to fund the government through the end of the fiscal year for 2024, which is the end of September. Details of the deal are not immediately available. 17-year-old Logan Robles of Victoria was sentenced to 30 years for the fatal shooting of 57-year-old Hector Gonzalez. Robles shot Hector Gonzalez multiple times after a verbal altercation back in September. First responders attempted to save the 57-year-old, but he died from the shooting. Authorities located Robles and 2 more teens in a nearby apartment complex where the murder weapon was discovered in an alley behind the apartment. The teen must now serve half of his sentence before he's eligible for parole. On Monday morning at around 10 a.m., a 18-wheeler caught fire after one of its tires blew out. There's no word on if the driver of the vehicle was hurt or the extent of any damages. The Old County Jail in downtown Victoria will stay put for at least 6 more months. On Monday, the Victoria Preservation presented a proposal to the county commissioners asking the court to hold off on making any decisions for 6 months. During that waiting period, county leaders will accept bids for demolition and also review cost estimates to restore the 1940s building. Next Monday, county commissioners will review exactly how they plan to move forward. Former President Trump has not been able to get a bond to secure the $464 million civil fraud judgment against him. In a court filing Monday, his lawyers described getting the bond as a practical impossibility. Trump and his company need to post a bond by next week in order to stop prosecutors from collecting the judgment while he appeals. Trump's lawyers say a key issue in securing the bond is that most insurers will not accept Trump's real estate holdings as collateral, preferring to instead take cash. In a filing last month, Trump's lawyers asked that the bond amount be reduced to $100 million. We'll go to Washington for more later. President Biden has warned Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu against carrying military operations in Rafah. According to the White House, the world leader spoke on a phone call Monday. It was the first time the two have spoken in nearly a month. Defense officials have openly expressed concerns about a planned Israeli military operation in Rafah. More than 1 million people have taken refuge in Rafah, a city in the southwestern Gaza Strip along Egypt's border. The city also serves as a primary entry point for humanitarian assistance entering Gaza from Egypt. Biden and Netanyahu also discussed the prospects of a weeks-long ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. Spring arrives tonight, but in many parts of the country, it feels like spring has already sprung weeks ago. This shifting start of the season is causing a host of new problems, from more bugs and bears to more pain for allergy sufferers.
Calendar says spring arrives tonight, but from the deep south to the upper Midwest, it feels like spring really sprung weeks ago. This winter was the warmest on record for the lower 48 states. Average temperatures in Wisconsin were nearly 10 degrees above normal. The deep red areas on this map show where plants sprouted their leaves up to 3 weeks earlier than normal. The cherry blossoms in Washington have already hit peak bloom 2 weeks earlier than normal. While most of us welcome the sun and the flowers, an early spring comes with consequences.
We've had a really warm winter and spring, and that's really kicking off our pollen season into a frenzy quite early.
Nearly every region of the country could now see a more intense allergy season.
Earlier and longer pollen seasons are something we need to prepare for. This is something that climate change is going to keep driving in coming years.
From pollen in the air to smoke, this year Texas has already seen its largest wildfire on record. Officials as far north as Minnesota are already warning of a high risk for fires. Part of the problem, the lack of snow, adding to drought and water supply concerns in parts of the country. Maple syrup producers also forced to make changes, tapping trees as early as January. The earlier spring also impacting wildlife.
It is certainly strange in the beginning of February to see so many bears out.
Bears have been waking up from their hibernations earlier. People have already been warned to secure their trash and bird feeders. Experts say late winter and spring are the times of year seeing the most dramatic climate change. El Nino is also a factor this year. Lionel Moise, ABC News, New York.
Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:37 on our Tuesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. The CDC with a warning about a global uptick in measles.
Perry Russom in Washington. Former President Trump has less than a week to pay his $464 million bond in his civil fraud case. Now his lawyers have a new request. That story coming up.
And also coming up after the break, we'll take a look at your school bus forecast. And because spring is here, we'll look at your weather and health forecast. And then later on Sunrise, take another look at those thunderstorms coming our way on Thursday. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're all tuning in with us this morning, you're looking live in Cuero, where it's a little bit cloudy out there this morning. I guess you'd say partly cloudy, but that partly cloudy sky is going to make for a beautiful sunrise when that sun starts coming up. I actually got the perfect cloud cover. It got some cirrus, and we also got some cumulus out there. But right now, a little bit chilly out there in Cuero, about 49 degrees. Really chilly for all of us because we had that cold front came through yesterday morning. And after that front came through, a little dry as well with your dew point 8 degrees off for your temperature. Got a 75% humidity, which is much different than the 80s and 90% humidities that we see here along the coast. But if you're seeing our kiddos out the door this morning, it's going to be about 48. Maybe you want to pack them a jacket because it's going to be definitely chilly in the morning, but a little bit chilly in the afternoon as well. About 65 today is that afternoon high temperature with the clouds increasing a little bit as we go into the later afternoon. But with it being such a windy day yesterday, gusts were up to 37 miles an hour. We got still a little bit of pollen, grass pollen and tree pollen still in the area, so maybe take an allergy pill. But if you don't like the cool weather, we're back to the 70s later this week, and we'll take a look at all of that and more in just a few moments. And that's it for your weather. We're going to look at sports with Zach Brown.
We've got a new coach, but he's not new to the program. The Bloomington Bobcats opting to promote assistant coach Lane Shands as their new head coach at practices. Shands was very much involved in what the Bobcats were doing when Coach Brandon Krause was maybe off working with the quarterback. Shands led the charge out there getting the guys ready, and so this seems like a natural slide over for him. He does a great job of holding his guys accountable, and also with the newest UIL realignment, Bloomington no longer having to deal with Shiner or Refugio. They might be able to make a lot of noise. Now here in Victoria, we've got the always fun Victoria East versus West battle over at the Youth Sports Complex. Victoria West has been on an absolute tear of late. Winners of their last 5 games. Victoria East has been on a tough 3-game slide. Just played well against a pretty good Cuero team, and head coach Melissa Buck wants her girls to bounce back after dropping their first district game.
Yeah, I mean, East versus West, always a little more pressure, a little more hype going into it. But at the end of the day, it's another district game. And after losing the first one the other day, we really need to get a win no matter who we're playing.
With your 25 Sports now, I'm Zach Brown.
Thank you, Zach. All right, we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. Former President Trump is facing a possible financial crisis. He's having trouble finding the money to post bond in his civil fraud judgment. He is liable for inflating the value of his properties to get favorable loans. A judge ordering him to post a $464 million bond, and now his lawyers are calling it a practical impossibility to raise the money.
Former President Trump's lawyers say securing the money to pay the $464 million bond is a practical impossibility. Trump's lawyers say they're facing insurmountable difficulties after approaching more than 30 insurance companies for help and being rejected each time. The issue being Trump does not have enough cash on hand, and the insurance companies would not take his properties as collateral. Trump was found liable for fraudulently inflating the value of his properties to get favorable bank loans. Trump is appealing the ruling and has until next week to secure a bond.
We are prepared to make sure that the judgment is paid to New Yorkers.
If Trump does not find the money, New York Attorney General Letitia James can ask the court to start seizing his properties. This comes as Trump faces more backlash for his latest incendiary remarks, saying yesterday, Jews who vote Democrat should be ashamed and hate Israel. On Sunday, Trump wrote online that former Congresswoman Liz Cheney and other members of the January 6th committee should go to jail. And on Saturday at a rally in Ohio,
please rise for the horribly and unfairly treated January 6th hostages.
Trump paid tribute to those who attacked the Capitol on January 6th and used the word bloodbath when describing what would happen to the auto industry if he's not elected. Trump insisting he was not talking about political violence, saying, I was simply referring to imports allowed by crooked Joe Biden, which are killing the automobile industry. As for the Jews who vote Democrat should be ashamed statement, Biden's campaign team says the only person who should be ashamed is Trump. Biden's team is accusing Trump of having an affection for violence and a thirst for revenge. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We ask you, do you think Trump will secure the money for his bond? Okay, let's take a look. 28% of you say yes, you are confident he will secure those funds. And 72% of you have your doubts. You say no, you don't think he will be able to. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. The time is now 6:44 on our Tuesday morning. Still to come, a man killed in an ambush in a casino parking garage. Okay, time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Young Gravy, the rapper and singer-songwriter, turns 28 today. He's not so bad, Parker.
He's actually pretty cool. You should go give him a look. He's got a great Instagram. And happy birthday to action hero star Bruce Willis. I know everybody knows this one. Knows him. Known for the Die Hard franchise. He celebrates his 69th birthday today. Some of his well-known movies include Pulp Fiction. Oh, love that movie. The Die Hard series and Sin City.
And also The Fifth Element.
Oh, and yeah, that's a good one too. Great movies. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com, click on More, and under Home, you see KVU to submit your birthday.
All right, the time is now 6:45 on our Tuesday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
Yes, happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. We did have a couple showers come through our area yesterday. Look at your rainfall totals, probably right around 1/10 of an inch or 1/4 inch, but we got some more coming our way, and that actually leads us to today's weather poll. It's got some thunderstorms coming our way on Thursday. Take a look at today's weather poll. It asks, do you have any pets that are scared of thunder? I know I have a puppy golden retriever. She can get a little spooked by that thunder sometimes, but looking at what y'all are saying, it looks like 54% of y'all Slight majority all say yes, you do. Maybe you have some puppy golden retrievers just like me. And then 43% of you say no. Looks like it's changed it on me. 52% now say yes. 41% say no. And 7% of you say you don't have a pet. Looks like y'all should go get some fur babies. They're just a joy in the world. But to vote on today's weather poll, go to crossroadstoday.com/vote-weather to participate and see what everybody else says as well. Now, like I said, looking at your rainfall totals from yesterday, because yes, we did see a couple really light showers out there. Kind of like I was thinking, just one or two real, it's actually more like a band that came through. You can see right where it ended, right about halfway through the crossroads. But right around here, we all got about 1/10 of an inch or so, especially down there near west of Refugio, probably got about 1/4 of an inch. So we got a little bit of rain, but we got a little bit more, I think, coming our way maybe today, definitely coming our way tomorrow. As you can see, maybe one or two, just like yesterday, one or two real light showers out there this afternoon. But as we fast forward to tomorrow, definitely a much better shot and coverage of some light scattered showers. But coming our way on Thursday, as we zoom and fast forward here through the rest of this week, we've got some possible strong to severe thunderstorms coming our way as early as late Thursday morning. But we'll have to take a look at all that and more in just a few more moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is warning about a global uptick in measles. This health alert comes as spring and summer travel seasons kick off. The CDC is calling on doctors to encourage vaccinations, especially for children traveling internationally. The U.S. eliminated measles as an endemic, but some imported cases are seen annually. So far this year, there have been 58 cases in 17 jurisdictions among the states where measles have been reported: Arizona, Florida, California, and Pennsylvania. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A Boston police officer saved by his bulletproof vest after being shot in the chest Monday night. Congress has reached a tentative deal to avoid a government shutdown. Congressional leaders struck a deal Monday to fund the Department of Homeland Security. It's a full-year appropriations bill, which should clear the way for Congress to begin the last 6 appropriations bills to fund the government through the end of the fiscal year for 2024, which is the end of September. Details of the deal are not immediately available. Authorities in southern Indiana say a 32-year-old man was killed in an ambush in a casino parking garage over the weekend. The Harrison County Sheriff says 2 men followed LaDon Williams to a Caesars casino Saturday night. They waited for hours for him to return to his car. When he did, they shot him to death. Officials say they're still looking for the 2 suspects along with Williams's silver and black Dodge Charger they say one of the men stole. Williams was a hip-hop artist from Louisville, Kentucky, and leaves behind a wife and a 6-year-old daughter. A Boston police officer was saved by his bulletproof vest after being shot in the chest Monday night. Personnel rushed the officer to a Boston medical center for non-life-threatening injuries where he's still currently recovering. Boston police were responding to a 911 call regarding an individual with a gun around 9:30 p.m. when the officers arrived. A person shot at the officer who wore a bulletproof vest. Other officers on scene were able to take the reported shooter into custody, and the police commissioner spoke on the officer's bravery and said if it had not been for his vest, the situation would have been much worse. The man accused of killing 2 people at the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs appeared in court Monday. The judge ordered a psychological evaluation for 25-year-old Nicholas Jordan. His preliminary hearing, scheduled for March 27th, will be postponed pending the outcome of that evaluation. A psychologist will determine if he is competent to stand trial. Jordan is accused of fatally shooting one of his roommates and another person last month. It happened in university housing. The Supreme Court has extended the temporary hold on Texas's immigration law. The temporarily blocked law, which allowed police to arrest migrants who illegally crossed the border from Mexico, is being challenged by the Biden administration. They say the measure tramples on the federal government's authority to oversee immigration issues. The law, originally set to take effect on March 10th, is now blocked indefinitely, giving all 9 Supreme Court justices time to figure out what next steps they should take. The City of Victoria meets today at 5 p.m. Action items for the City Council include the approval of the 2024 to 2025 Comprehensive Plan Action Agenda, and award the 2024 Residential Street Maintenance Project to Clack Construction of Texas in the amount of $2,556,838.60. and to approve the Entertainment District boundary expansion. The meeting will take place in the City Chambers downtown at 107 West Walnut Street. Keep Victoria Beautiful needs your help for the Victoria Day of Caring. It's set for Saturday, April 13th. The spring trash off roadway cleanup is part of TxDOT's Adopt a Highway program. Keep Victoria Beautiful will clean about 8 miles of roadway. Volunteers will get a t-shirt and a food ticket for the De Leon Plaza expansion ribbon cutting and De Leon statue dedication that same day. It could be a day full of volunteering and celebration. And so you can meet at the Target parking lot at the Loop 463. That's from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And there's still a chance to play for the Powerball jackpot. Last night's drawing saw no ticket matching the winning numbers. So you still have time to get a ticket in that jackpot. The jackpot has now risen to an estimated $687 million with a cash value of $327.3 million. The next drawing is tomorrow, so go get your ticket today. Get one from me too. All right, and the Texas GOP chair candidate Abraham George tried to confront his wife's alleged lover with a loaded gun last year, but was not arrested or charged, police say. Read this story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And let's take another look at our viewer poll. Today's viewer poll, we covered Trump's financial issues. We want to know, do you think that Trump will secure the money for his bond? Okay, let's take a look. 28% of you say yes, and 72% of you say no. You're worried that he may not be able to secure the money for that bond. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer polls. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And now we have time for a final check of our final winter season forecast with Parker, because spring is right around the corner.
Today, and actually with spring starting today, we already have a look at some spring weather coming our way this week. But right now, look at that beautiful sunrise out there, just like I thought, with that nice cloud cover. Give us a beautiful sunrise, but 48 degrees out there, a little chilly because we had that cold front came through yesterday morning. But looking at your weather headlines, it's going to be chilly and dry today after that front. Southerly winds are going to return starting today. It's going to warm us up for the rest of this week, but we have some strong thunderstorms possibly coming our way on Thursday. All of us in the upper 40s and the low 50s this morning, so it's a little chilly. Might want to grab a jacket today because they're only getting up to the mid 60s today before we drop right back to the low 60s and upper 50s tonight. But today we could maybe see, just like yesterday, 1 or 2 real light showers and a much better shot coming our way tomorrow. But coming our way on Thursday is our best shot. We might see some severe weather. Look at all these thunderstorms coming our way which is why I've issued an alert day for Thursday, because the National Weather Service has a level 1 out of 5 risk for some severe weather. So we might have some more strong spring-like thunderstorms coming our way yet again.
You know, it's important to issue those alert days, even if it's a clear day. It's better to stay prepared.
Yes, that's why a possible alert day, because severe weather may be possible.
All right. Well, thank you, Parker, and thank you for joining us. Be sure to join us tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10, and follow us on our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today.